Hello everyone. So in our previous video we discussed about a basic introduction to an array data structure. So in this video we will discuss that how we can perform declaration and initialization of an array. So here when we say declaration of an array, we'll first discuss about the one-dimensional array. So the one-dimensional array can be declared via syntax. We can provide a data type, then we can provide the variable name, and then we simply provide the square brackets so that we can come to know that this is an array. So this is the one way. The other way is we can provide any data type, and along with that we provide this square brackets, and then comes our variable name. So for example, let's say if you want to declare an integer array, so we can simply provide int, and then we can provide our own customized variable name. So here I have just given it as my array, and then the square brackets. And similarly we can do something like this, that int square brackets, and then we provide the variable name. So here when we declare an array in Java, we can use both these syntaxes. The most preferred use syntax is the second one, because we can simply deduce that this is an array of integer data type by just looking at the int and the square brackets. So this is the mostly used syntax to declare an array. Moving ahead, now let's see how we can initialize an array. So by initialization we mean that when we initialize an array, we are simply providing a memory to the array elements, so that now array can store the collection of data into it. So the syntax for the one-dimensional array is something like, once we declare an array, what we saw in our previous slide, in the next step we can give the variable name, and we can use the new operator to initialize an array, and then we need to provide the data type along with a size. So we also discussed that when we create an array, we need to provide a size, because once the array is initialized, we cannot modify the size. So by this statement we are actually telling that provide us an array of this particular data type whose size is whatever the value you have provided here. So once this line get executed, we are provided with an array of fixed size and certain memories associated with this data type, so that now we can use this array and store our data elements. So for example, we can write something as we have declared my array in our previous slide, we can say my array equal to new, the data type, and in the square bracket we can provide the size. So this will initialize an array of size 5. So we can add 5 elements inside this array. And also friend, usually we perform the declaration and initialization of an array in one go or in one step. So the syntax for that is, we can just combine the declaration and initialization in one step, as we simply give the data type, then square brackets, then variable name equal to new data type for which we want to create an array, and then the size. And we can also use this syntax, data type, the variable name with the square brackets, and then we can simply provide new data type and the size associated with it. So for example, we can simply create an integer array something like this. So here using new operator, this will create an integer array of size 5, so that we can store 5 integers inside this array. So this is the other syntax. So the most preferred syntax is the first one. So just by looking at the statement we can come to know that this is an integer array, because usually the square brackets are alongside with the data type. And also friend, there is one more way to declare and initialize an array along with its data elements. is we can write integer, square brackets, variable name, and we can simply say curly brackets, and we can simply provide the actual data along with it. So here you can see that if we know that what data we want to store inside is an array beforehand, then we can simply use this syntax. So it will directly initialize this array with proper values such as 5, 4, 3, 2, 6 at index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And here you can see it deduces the size by counting the number of elements we have provided inside this curly bracket. So here, as we have stored 5 elements, this integer array will now have a size of 5. So friends, in this video we saw that how we can declare and initialize an array with various syntaxes. In our upcoming video we will discuss that how we can add an element or update an element inside this array using the index position. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.